the opossum.
Yes.
He's like a plumber. He's like doing all the right things in life. Even later, he has like a titanium card, and Mr. Fox is like,
right,
how do you have a titanium
really good
card?
credit or whatever.
How did you qualify?
And he's like the most normal of all of them, and he stands out some of the least.
We've had many guests on this pod, and by many I mean 2. But they have both been Grant's wife and brother, who are also my friends. We are friends.
Yes, 100%.
But this is Ethan Johnston, who is my first official guest. Are we claiming guests? Is that a thing?
We can claim guests.
Okay.
I claim Leo DiCaprio in the future.
That's fine. Yeah, Ethan and I have been friends for a long time.
True. One of the longest, probably low-key, besides our family, the longest fan of the podcast.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
You've been around since like day one, basically.
I actually think I've been around since before day one.
Day zero.
Because when you guys were like thinking of this idea, Drew talked about like if they ever did a Fantastic Mr. Fox episode, which may be a little bit of a spoiler, it's my favorite movie. And he was like, you should come on the pod.
And now we're here.
This
is crazy, actually.
Wow.
That conversation has now come to fruition today.
Yeah.
Welcome back to So My Line, a Fireside film podcast. I'm Grant.
And I'm Drew.
And I'm Ethan.
Let's go. This is awesome. So,
also, Ethan, talk as close to the mic.
No, he's okay.
Oh, okay. Is he good?
We're chilling.
Okay.
I got it.
You're the audio guy. I'm not the audio guy.
We're big fix it and post guys over here.
We love
you
that.
Can't tell. But thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel.
True.
Maybe you can be by the fire with us one day if you like what we do here.
Are we going to make that promise out there?
That's why I said maybe.
Okay.
No, but we're talking about Fantastic Mr. Fox.
We are.
Yes, which if you clicked on this video,
you already know because it's in the thumbnail.
And yes, this is your favorite movie. So
yes, it is.
I guess like brief non-spoilers for a movie that is almost 20 years old.
True.
What did you think of the movie? Like, why do you love this movie?
Well, if it's okay before we get into that,
go for it.
When we were thinking about, or when I was thinking about coming on the pod, I was like, I really want to get these guys a Blu-ray of Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, okay, does Grant have it? So you have this thing on your Letterboxd of a list of all of your Blu-ray movies.
That is true.
And I checked and you already own it.
This is crazy.
And so I texted Drew
This
that
is like
day.
crazy homework, by the way. This is insane.
I texted Drew that day, and he bought it the day I texted him.
And I sent you a picture.
You sent me a picture
unprompted.
That's
Unprompted.
crazy. That is so crazy.
I pivoted and got some Blu-rays. Okay, I'll be honest, they're from Goodwill.
That's fine,
Hey,
dude.
that's fine.
Hey, look,
Not like
that is so
not
fun.
Criterion or anything
no,
like that.
thrifting Blu-rays is kind of the vibe.
It's kinda
I'm not
peak.
gonna lie. That's awesome. That's so sick.
And I think both these movies are great too.
Okay.
And so I really hope neither of you have these movies. I don't think you do. I did some research. I got them in my trusty Cliff Bar box here. So
This is
that you got out of my car.
Drew rapping right here.
this one is for Grant.
Oh, let's go.
Do you have it?
I don't have the Dark Knight.
No way!
I don't have the Dark Knight.
Isn't that crazy?
I will probably at some point get the 4K trilogy, but like I'm
Which
not
is fair.
worried about that right now. So
Which is
this is
super fair.
sick. This is awesome, guys. Can I like nerd out for a quick second?
Please, nerd.
I've been really deep on the YouTube 4K versus Blu-ray comparisons, and in certain shots, the Blu-ray of The Dark Knight looks better than the 4K of The Dark Knight.
How does one quantify?
You just have to watch the
believe
videos,
you.
brother.
This is more your thing.
So
I believe you.
I will probably want to own both
Let's
regardless.
go.
So this is sick. Thank
Let's
you
go.
so much, Ethan.
Yeah,
this
totally.
is awesome.
This is wild because go back to Grant's birthday episode. I have all the same resources you do, and botched it so bad.
I did own Barry Lyndon on 4K.
And you texted me a picture.
Yes,
by the way,
I did text him a picture.
And it's on the same list that Ethan has access to, and I missed. Oh, it's tragic, but it's okay.
Really quick for people who watched that episode, I also did go return it with Drew on the phone. By the way,
Yeah,
he listened to me return this movie. We were talking about other Stole My Line stuff, but I returned it and I got high and low 4K Criterion.
True.
So it was an overall net win there.
I agree.
Okay,
That's awesome. And then the one for Drew is a Disney movie, The Lion King.
Sick.
These are really good Goodwill finds, dude.
Dude, I know.
This is
I
awesome.
feel like I've not had this
the
kind of
Walt
luck.
Disney Signature Collection.
This is tough.
And actually, Drew, if you want to open that one, it comes with, I don't know how authentic any of that is, but there's like frames from The Lion King.
What?
If you hold it up into the light, you can like see them.
oh, that's got to be authentic. That's real.
That is awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so sick.
Simba on the rock.
Well, maybe it's not authentic actually. I
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
it's an animated movie.
Well, no, they would have projected it still
I guess that's true.
back in the day. So it probably is.
Wow, in the firelight.
That's sick.
This is awesome. Thank you so much, Ethan.
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
We have a custom Stole My Line mug on the way in the mail.
Yeah, we're gonna ship one to
Definitely.
you.
No,
Let's go.
it's in the mail now. We've already done it because we're thoughtful hosts for this guest podcast.
Great.
Okay, Fantastic Mr. Fox, though.
Yes, non-spoiler.
Thank you for these.
Yeah.
Non-spoiler. Why do you like Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Wow. Fantastic Mr. Fox is just like beautifully created. Like technically.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the most perfect technical movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
And you guys both watched it with behind the scenes recently.
Well, I didn't watch the behind the scenes yet,
Okay.
so I haven't gone through all of them, but I watched this movie. I was like, I really want to.
It is
looks
insane.
so good.
Yeah.
So.
Drew, what were you saying about they were like filming on location?
Wait, what was I saying about
You were
this?
saying like for the voice acting at least.
Oh no!
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
know this.
I mean
Yes.
the way they do the voice acting is like, it was. I mean, a lot of times voice acting is done in like a studio, obviously.
Right.
Mhm.
But this was very on the ground. It's like literally Wes Anderson and his sound crew and George Clooney in a field.
Yeah, like-
just running around on a 4-wheeler when they're on like the bicycle sidecar
Yep.
type deal. I'm like, this is so sick.
Yes, it's there's a chemistry that you get from live performances that like you just can't really get from animated movies, and
Yeah.
that's not like a knock on all animated
Right.
movies, but the fact that they recorded some of these scenes and George Clooney is like actually like eating food or whatever
Right.
on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
set, like that's cool. That's sick.
I think
Super
it's so awesome.
Yeah.
it's so Wes Anderson too.
Yes, 100%. I think that this movie has aged really, really well.
True.
Like you said, Drew, it's technically one of the most impressive movies, like for what it does. But also, I would say that creatively, it is just so unique. Like I don't think there's a single thing out there like Fantastic Mr. Fox that isn't Island of Dog or
Yeah.
Isle of Dogs or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I don't know, but more thoughts.
Yeah,
here.
I also think like some of the themes we'll tap on that in a little bit. Like there's so many different like themes that are like maybe not half baked, but like that are in there with enough where so many different people can look at this movie and take different things away from it.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree.
100%. I think the dialogue's really, really great.
Yep.
I think it is very witty.
This might be Wes's funniest movie. Jury's out on that, but I don't know. The script is so quirky, which is Wes Anderson, but it's all the jokes are so just quirky and weird in the best way. So I love it.
I think like my favorite bit, maybe this is a spoiler, is the like what the cuss.
Oh yeah,
It's
what
so
the cuss
good.
is
Yes,
awesome.
it's so good.
You kind of, if you haven't seen this movie, we do recommend it. We'll probably just give our rating right now and then dive into what actually happens in this movie.
You want to say what our rating is, Ethan?
No,
I think we're all going to agree.
do you know our rating system? Can you list it off?
For sure.
Like right
and,
now.
And actually, I have a quarrel with you guys about the way that you do this because usually
Oh, no.
Drew is the one who does it, and he lists it from Blu-ray down.
Oh, do you think we should go up?
I think you should go up,
Oh, okay.
but that's all
You
right.
can be the first
Yeah.
inaugural.
Yeah, why don't you go
going
from
upper.
Yes,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay, I think, and I don't know that you've ever put a movie in here, maybe once. It's like, just never watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
never watch
We
it.
have one movie. Do
We
you
have
know what
one
it is?
movie.
I don't
This is
know
a
what
Stole
it
My
is.
Line quiz.
It's
I don't know
okay.
what it is.
Here's a hint. I chucked a chair on this episode.
Has it happened more than once?
It's
It
happened
has
like 3
happened
times.
2 or 3 times.
Okay, I don't know what the movie is.
It's okay. It was
Rise of Skywalker.
a horrible movie. I hate it with a burning passion.
So bad.
That makes
Awful. Okay, yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, the first one is never watch it ever.
Yep.
The second is on your mom's Disney Plus or on Tubi.
Yeah,
Yep.
like free
Yeah.
streaming. Don't spend money on
On your
this.
mom's Disney Plus, I kind of like more than Tubi.
Should we rebrand it?
Maybe.
We'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
well, that's a later discussion.
Okay.
Thirdly is streaming.
Yes.
Yep.
Which I think majority of movies should fit into.
Yeah, I think that's where we've landed.
We
a lot.
maybe are too high on certain movies at times, but I feel like we slot a lot of like kind of the middle range movies in streaming. And
Yeah.
then- yeah, that's okay.
Fourth is in theaters.
Okay.
Yep.
In theaters. Sometimes you even say IMAX.
Yep.
And then the best one is Blu-ray 4K, the best edition you can get of this movie.
Correct.
For sure.
100% on your
I
test,
think-
Ethan.
This is like pretty easy.
It's pretty easy, and we should all unanimously agree that this is 4K.
Yeah, buy on Blu-ray, Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
Go do it right now. The sale with Barnes & Noble is probably over, unfortunately.
Yep.
At point of release, but you know what I did do this past half-off sale is I bought Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Incredible.
I also bought
Right here.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Incredible.
And great purchase. It looks great. So, yeah. But
Yep, I completely agree, Ethan.
let's dive into the movie itself, which
Yeah.
it's only an hour and a half, and there's a lot
Quick.
that happens. But like, probably gonna talk a little bit more about the themes than the plot, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. But Drew, I feel like we've been talking a lot over here.
Okay.
I want to hear your thoughts on Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Spoilers for Fantastic Mr. Fox. The title is
Fantastic
kind of
Mr. for the First Steps, Fox. These stupid titles.
Spoilers
So
for this
good.
movie. Yeah, I think the themes are great. I think I don't want to compare it to Pixar because this is it feels very un-Pixar, but this has the Pixar quality of adult themes, adult writing, packaged in a childlike sense.
Yes. Completely agree.
Which I think is great. Ethan, you have a take
Yes.
that you have brought to this podcast.
Yes.
I would like you to present it.
Okay. All right.
This is fun.
I think, and maybe we can touch on this a little bit, but I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is basically a perfect movie.
Okay.
This is okay. I'll hear this one out.
So we have both given it, I think, 4.5 stars on Letterboxd.
I had it at 4.5 stars, and I watched it like years ago. When I rewatched it, I was like, "There's no reason I'm not going to give this 5 stars."
Okay.
Incredible.
So slapped a 5-star rating on that bad boy.
So you have both given it. I'm the odd one.
You're the odd man
fine.
out.
That's fine.
But I want to hear your argument because I've only seen this movie twice,
Yeah.
and I need to watch like 7 different YouTube essays on what the themes of this movie are.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of the time people really like to hit on that idea that he's like a wild animal and he loses that part of himself.
Yeah.
Which is kind of when that scene with the wolf towards the end is
Yes.
kind of that idea of like he's kind of like reestablishing himself as a wild animal within the constraints or constructs of like humanity that he now lives in.
Mhm.
I don't love that. It's not my favorite. I'm like, I get it. It's cool. Wes
Okay.
Anderson said it's the reason he made this film. I think that there are a lot of other themes that stick out to me.
Okay.
But firstly, I would say that this movie is like perfect because at any age and every age I've watched it, I've seen this movie probably 20 times over the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I watch it, I connect with a different character.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I connect with a different character for a different reason too. So on my most recent watch, Fantastic Mr. Fox, the main character,
Right.
I really noticed that he was struggling with contentment.
yeah.
And maybe did you pick up on that?
Oh yeah,
at all,
100%, 100%.
Recently struggling with contentment, and so that was like so easy to connect with.
Yeah, 100%. I think what hit me the most, if we're just going to go across and list
No, it's
themes, I think a lot of it was connectivity, and like I think this movie is about connecting with a lot of things, but like reconnecting with your wife, and like then there's the other thing, which is like the other thing that stuck out to me was midlife crisis, and I think that's maybe projecting onto this movie. I'm not in midlife crisis, but like. You could see how
You mean this podcast
Mr.
wasn't
Fox,
a midlife crisis for us?
It was not. I hope it's not midlife because we're young. But I think that what he's going through is what I've seen other people go through in midlife crises of like, I want to be my own person again, and like I don't like this rut I'm in. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think what stuck out to me the most is the father-son dynamic of
Yep.
what is his name? What's the son's name?
Ash, yes.
Ash and Kristofferson. Their dynamic I thought was great.
Yep.
Again, it's very relatable for a kid to be like, oh yeah, I've been jealous of another kid before.
Yeah.
And I've been bullied.
Mm-hmm.
But then just the dynamic of Fantastic Mr. Fox and Ash is very relatable to in my life, and like, yeah, it's just very. His arc is so good, Fantastic Mr. Fox, in the sense of like, you can instantly relate to his midlife crisis, but also as a third party perspective, be like, you're being a selfish jerk here, and not putting your wife and your kid before yourself, but also you understand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's hard to do, to make someone's moral actions that are immoral sympathetic.
Yes. Would completely agree.
And I think like the motives are really well articulated, not necessarily like being like very forward with it, but like the actions of the characters like very specifically relate to their motives. So example, Drew, you're talking about Ash.
Right.
And I think like his main motive is like he wants to know that his dad is proud of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then his actions of being like jealous and like of like the things that his dad decides or thinks are like good qualities.
Mm-hmm.
He wants a robber mask.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
And he also just wants to be an athlete. Like he wants to be good at stuff. And I mean, I think everybody to a certain extent, at least just watching this podcast probably, has been in a situation growing up where they're like, I am not as good as this person at this thing, and I'm jealous of them.
Right.
Like I felt that. Everybody's felt that. So you kind of feel for Ash in that situation. So
And even like this subtle comparison of like when Ash is like, I want to be an athlete, and then it pans to the trophy case or whatever.
Yeah.
And Owen Wilson basically is like, "You're not gonna be your dad.
Yeah.
Your dad was too good."
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, that's so subtle, but also like that's hard for a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And Grant, I'm curious for you, and I'm not projecting anything onto your marriage, but you're recently married.
I am recently. My marriage is great. I'll go ahead and
not
say
projecting
that
anything
before
on
we
marriage,
talk.
but
But there's like an emotional scene between Mr. Fox and Mrs. Fox.
Oh, gosh. I
where
think I
she
know what you're talking
says,
about.
I think like verbatim, something like, "I love you, but I never should have married you."
Gosh.
yeah, that's a crazy scene.
And I think, obviously, I'm not like relating to that scene, but I do know a lot of people who like are in very tense marriages. And, like,
Yeah.
I mean, divorce rates are very high nowadays. And so, I thought of a specific older couple in my life that I'm like, I think of these people when I see that scene. I'm like, that's just a hard thing to say and to hear, but
Yeah.
and like, it may be, I don't think it's played for laughs, but as a kid, you're not going to pick up on that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of
Yeah.
the same thing with The Incredibles. Like, you don't pick up on all the marital tension.
Yep.
You just think, oh, they're just arguing. But, like, no, that's marital tension. That's something that's a really real thing. And so for her to say that verbatim is like, gosh, that's what some couples never really say to each other, but they feel that. And that
Yeah.
just permeates throughout their relationship, and they
Yeah.
never heal from it.
Yeah.
And I think it's like mature, and I like that she expresses it.
Yeah, I think it is emotional maturity.
But then at the end, like, you kind of have the resolution there of, like, I'm expecting another kid, which, like, you know, if you're an adult, you're like, oh, okay, so they have fixed some issues here.
Yeah.
Just to put it that way. But, like,
They have fixed some issues.
they have fixed some issues, but, like, yeah, they've reconnected.
Right.
And, like, that ties into that theme that I mentioned of, like, yeah, reconnecting with your wife, because she ends up understanding him and he ends up understanding her in a better way
Yeah.
by the end of the movie. So, oh, a little leaf landed on me.
Wow, you're the lucky one.
Oh, thank you.
You are the chosen one.
What other themes or maybe stuff that we mentioned here do you want to dive into, Ethan? If any?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious what you guys think about Kristofferson, because
Oh, yeah.
he's like a huge part of this movie. We haven't touched on
I
it.
forgot he was such a big part.
And he's a big part of it, but, like, he's not as open as the other characters, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, they briefly mention what happened with his dad, and,
Yep.
like, he's obviously going through stuff, but he's not the main character of this movie, even though he's really important.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's interesting. I think he's a great foil for Ash.
Yep.
And that's probably all I picked up on with this watch is like his existence is to flesh out the relationship between Fantastic Mr. Fox and Ash.
Mm.
And to have Ash, to give like the story some leverage for Ash to feel these things he feels.
Yeah.
What about you? Why do you bring it up?
Yeah, I think like definitely like is supporting to the relationship between Ash and his father.
Right.
And it's like curious the like dynamic between him and his father, where they're like he does want to be with his father, and he's good at a ton of things, and so you kind of like almost like project maybe what Ash is going through
Yeah.
onto Kristofferson's
Mhm.
relationship with his father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like how did that pan out? Because Kristofferson really doesn't care if
Right.
Mr.
He's-
Fox is proud of him or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
Like
he-
he has no care in the world.
Yeah, he's just good at stuff, and then he gets kind of thrown into situations because he's good at stuff.
I'm also crying. The smoke.
Yeah, I'm
is
sorry.
I know.
killing me.
Welcome
I'm
to Stole My
sorry.
Line.
Yeah, it's
for real.
bad.
I'm so sorry, but to kind of like, I don't know, add on to that, I think Kristofferson within the family that he's now kind of in is he wants to be accepted. Like he just
Yeah.
wants kind of a home, and then Ash is mad at him like
Yeah.
off the bat, and then he's also kind of being used a little bit by Mr. Fox. Like
Yeah.
like he gets dragged along on these heists that are going on. He's like, I guess I'm just good at stuff, but like
Yeah.
he's doesn't really have a lot of like. Well, no, I was not gonna say the right thing there. I think he's kind of being used for everything, or like abused by Ash, whereas like
Yeah.
he just wants to be seen maybe as his own person. It's my, I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. My take.
Yeah, I agree. So your position currently, Ethan, is it is a perfect movie because it has, I mean, we've talked about probably 5 different themes,
Diversity of themes.
diversity
Yes.
of themes that are all very applicable to lots of
Yes.
people,
Mm-hmm.
and you can watch this movie multiple times, pick up on different things, and also the different, like, we all said something different
Yeah.
that hit us, which is not something I can say for a lot of movies, honestly.
I think on Stole My Line too, we talk a lot, and maybe we haven't talked about it as much recently with Star Wars and Spider-Man being like what we've talked about, but we talk about a nugget of truth a lot,
Ooh.
and like,
Mm.
like what can you take from this movie that's true about life or true about relationships or,
Right.
or beliefs or whatever, right? This is like an 8-count nugget of truth because there's like
Yeah.
a lot going on
I
here.
agree.
but like in a good way. I think that this movie has a lot of value that, like, yeah, I'll probably think about this movie from time to time.
For sure.
Just on the day-to-day. And I will enjoy rewatching it when I have a son, when I am deeper into my marriage. You know, there's going to be different phases that I'm really going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
So
There are a few more things I want to touch on. Like, first off, like that song, like Bacchus Bunce and Bean, is just like,
Banger.
it plays in my head
the
all the time.
Is like, I guess, is this similar to the book at all? I don't know if you've read it at all.
I haven't read it, but like from like different things I've heard, I think it's like pretty close. And I think that song is interpreted from the book. Type of thing.
Gotcha.
But I think like that song is like really interesting because I think like the humans in this movie act more like the wild animals than the wild animals
I
do.
agree.
And I'm
That
curious
is
to
an
know what you guys
interesting
think Wes is saying.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn because then I've been on like a Studio Ghibli kick recently, with like humans can be really harmful to the world and to wildlife, right?
Right.
And so I think there's a little subtle message about that of like humans kind of use wildlife for their own gain, or like don't coexist well.
Yeah.
Is maybe like a minor theme in this movie. So that's kind of how I took it, but I would like to talk more about kind of the aspect that you brought to it. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think there's an element of highlighting like humanity. I think in a very is it anthropological? Is that the study of man?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at me.
Wow. You went to school.
I did go to school. Some school. Yeah. Yeah, it's very anthropological.
Sure.
We're gonna go with that.
Nice.
In the sense of like, in the grand scope of humanity, I think humanity definitely has a tendency to be a bigger monster than we think we are.
Yeah. Totally.
Without the help of Jesus.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. I would agree with that.
And I think it's just highlighting that in the sense of like, even in just like the character design and what they eat, and like it's like it gives you kind of the synopsis of all three farmers, and they're all kind of scary in like a claymation stop motion type of way.
Yeah.
But also like they're eating donuts with goose liver in them, smoking cigarettes and only drinking cider and like that, like very just kind of like monstrous in a PG way, but still in a way.
Yeah.
Well, in the movie, like accents that too through certain design aspects of like, you know, this is a beautiful movie, but then when the humans take over, or when you're in their houses and stuff, the lighting is super sterile. Like it's not beautiful anymore.
Yeah.
And even at the end of the movie, when they raid the grocery market or whatever, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But they mention like this food is synthetic and not good for you.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
It's like at times humans can destroy all that is beautiful and good about the world. And so like, I think the movie does intentionally kind of reference that.
I think so too.
I think so too.
So
I think so too, and I don't know that I like love that, because I think like that Wes Anderson is trying to portray through the animals that humanity brings a ton of good to the world too.
Yeah, well, I think there's a duality maybe.
Yeah.
Like humans at their worst can definitely destroy the world.
For sure.
So
Okay, why do you say good though? Like keep going on that thought.
Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Like animals bring, or that humans bring good to the world.
yes.
Well, it maybe like within the confines of this movie, they open with like, I'm so good at these things, but I'm having a child now. Everything needs to change and orient around this thing that we've created. And like the thing that you create is like, I mean, I believe like the most beautiful thing that anybody could create is like more life.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with it starting like that and then ending like that, it's like you go through this journey of like what we've created.
Oh, this is good, Ethan.
What we've created like can still be, I mean, I don't know, maybe you can help me like kind of articulate what I'm trying to say here, but like what we've created has its own challenges and et cetera, and it might be, you know, like different, like they always do that for Ash, it's like different,
Right.
but it's still beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, so much so that by the end of this movie, we do it again.
Well, and like the journey that we've gone on from the beginning of this movie to the end, it's almost more beautiful by the end of it when it happens again, because you know the journey these characters have been on. Like, when they have another kid or like they're pregnant again, like wow, they've reconnected at this point. Like it's a beautiful journey to creating even more life. So
one more theme that we didn't touch on that I picked up on recently was like just how many differences there are in like the and they like explicitly do that. For example, like Ash, everybody just says he's different.
He's different.
Then like Ash's like love interest, she has like a ton of spots. Like no other fox has spots, and he basically tells her like, hey, you're like different. Or like Kristofferson is like, he knows karate, he knows like, you know, all these different things, and he's different in that way. And even Fantastic Mr. Fox, who has all the things that most of the characters value in this, for his differences, he is like pushed aside.
Yes.
And I think that one thing that I love the most about this movie is that Wes Anderson is trying to communicate that our differences is part of what gives us intrinsic value.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we don't all want to be the same person.
Right.
And so, like, I think the movie handles uniqueness and also fitting in. It's almost like it says that fitting in is kind of a social construct at times, like, because none of the characters really fit in any. There's not like a cool kids group in this movie.
Yeah,
right.
Like they're all different, and like that's just the thing. So I don't know. I mean, I think Ash wants to fit in and be cool, but then again, like, no one's really cool here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting concept for sure.
The one person that is maybe the most like, or the one character that's maybe like the most normal or fits into the like constraints of society is I think his name's Wiley. The opossum.
Yes.
He's like a plumber. He's like doing all the right things in life. Even later, he has like a titanium card, and Mr. Fox is like, how do you have a titanium
a really good
card?
credit or whatever.
How did you qualify?
And he's like the most normal of all of them, and he stands out some of the least.
Yeah.
And I think that's intentional too. Of like,
oh, that's really interesting.
The more different you are, actually, the more you're going to stand out. Like, and pointing that out, not like so that you become different, but so that the things that you're trying to like stop yourself from being different in, like you just are more like willing to be yourself. I don't know.
Gosh, bro.
Dang it! I honestly might rewatch this movie within the next day.
I know.
Like, talking about this makes me want to watch it again. I think you're just so correct. This is like a treasure trove, of themes and truths and everything.
Yes.
It makes me want to rewatch it and focus on a different character every single time. But
yeah, I do think you're so right. I think something else that's super interesting, and I don't know how I feel about this coming out of my mouth, but that's okay.
It's a common thing.
I say that a lot.
You
here.
say.
Yeah.
Let's just say it and then dissect it.
Like, working within your gifting, I guess, is like Mr. Fox is good at stealing.
He's very good.
And he feels trapped in a rut in his midlife crisis as he's writing a newspaper. And he comes to this conclusion of like, I'd rather do something I'm good at, and I want to do this for me. Is Wes Anderson saying that stealing is immoral? And like I think it is wrong because it causes so much consequence.
Yes. But
also, he's good at stealing and has giftings to steal.
Yeah.
Because he's a fox. Like, it's literally in his nature to do this.
Yeah.
He's created to do this. I don't know. There's lots of interesting themes there, I feel like.
Well, and I think, too, it's like, what context are you using your gift in? Like, are you abandoning your wife and your son?
Right, yeah.
And uprooting your whole family to do this thing you like? I mean, it's kind of similar maybe to Mr. Incredible a little bit in The Incredibles.
Yeah,
like,
low-key.
Like, not that dissimilar, but, like, are you uprooting your whole life, or are you doing it in the correct context, like, with when people understand you? I don't know really if there's something he's trying to say there, or if that's just like
the nature of the story.
That's just
like
the nature of the story. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, again, like seeing this movie so many times, I really portray humanity onto the animals, and so I'm curious to know. Like, obviously, in our society, stealing,
wrong.
No, and I think objectively, wrong.
Right.
But what are the gifts that like we would have as humans that are like looked down upon, even though like it's a gift that you have?
I mean, I think one that if you're watching this podcast, you probably think a lot about this, but at times creativity
100%.
can be frowned upon in different contexts. I mean, if you're Christopher Nolan, everyone's like, oh, he's so creative,
right?
And he's an auteur, which I don't know if he's really an auteur, but whatever.
Hey,
but like he's
what movie are you holding right now?
No, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this is auteur work or whatever.
Shut your mouth.
Okay, but he makes really good stuff, right? And if you climb to the top, you're going to be respected.
Yeah.
But if you are a small at-home artist, or you only make short films, or you only paint paintings, and you post them on Instagram and get 20 likes,
right?
And you tell somebody, "Oh, I paint stuff," and you don't have over 1,000 Instagram followers, like,
right?
Somebody's gonna frown on you, like, or be like, "Oh, like, that's cool." Like, you're not gonna be as respected. So it's like, but that doesn't make your gift bad. Like,
Right.
if anything, you should keep doing it because you love it and because we are gifted with creativity as humans. And that's just one example, but that's what comes to my mind.
No, that's instantly what I thought of.
Yeah.
As well.
Maybe to that, like Wes like articulates that through Mrs. Fox, Meryl Streep's character.
Which she's killer character.
When
She's
if you
awesome.
hear we haven't talked on the Rat.
Oh, yeah, we gotta talk about Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Love Willem Dafoe.
He like has this line in there where he's like talking to Mr. Fox and is like talking about his wife before, like when she was like younger, and he's like, you know, she basically was a wild animal.
Yeah.
She was like going around doing all this kind of stuff, and maybe in some sense of the word, expressing her own creativity. Okay, I don't know if I would venture that far to say that, but in some sense of the
that's
word,
wild.
But I'm getting there by saying that like that's redeemed in the movie through her being the best artist. Like she's always painting.
Oh,
right?
Oh my gosh.
Golly.
And in the movie, they talk about how she's like, I think towards the end, she does all the big murals and stuff like that. And it's how they win is because of her creativity being expressed.
Oh, gosh. That's so good.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I think we're winning Drew over.
Bro, I was won over 20 minutes ago.
I think this is one thing I do want to talk about and kind of maybe redeem this aspect of the movie that
I'm changing my letterbox.
Okay, do it right now. Live on the podcast. I think something that stuck out to me, and I read the wolf scene differently.
Okay.
So I thought a lot about midlife crisis, just like as a concept. I think it's really interesting. It's obviously something that really does happen.
Yeah.
And I think, and maybe this is more my personal belief injected into my thoughts on this movie.
Yeah.
But like there is a wild adventure within man, and like humanity, but also I would say within men, that is something that's like, I don't even know how to explain it besides like the feeling you get when you like run out into a sports game or like, you know, or you run out into battle. And like, I think anybody can have this feeling, right?
Yeah.
But I read that of like something that Fantastic Mr. Fox or Mr. Fox is kind of afraid of, but then he sees this wolf and he's like, it's actually not that bad to tap into that side of me. And maybe this is more an interpretation of what is put on screen, but that's how I read it a little bit of like, there's a wild side to man and it's okay to touch into that. And maybe that ties into the creativity and other things. So thoughts there.
A wild side to man,
or if you have it too, I don't know.
No, I think that is true, and maybe, like I think what you said about Mrs. Fox, Felicity, is great. Like there's this kind of negative expression of her adventurous, creative self.
Yeah.
In the sense of she's running around with all these guys.
Yeah.
In the past, or allegedly.
All these other foxes.
Allegedly, yes.
And then she finds the healthy outlet of painting.
Yes.
I think Mr. Fox is on the same arc of that, but I think he just clocks it he clocks it, it's good, and that he doesn't need to express his creative, adventurous side with stealing.
Yes.
At the very end of the movie when he sees the wolf. He
Yeah.
clocks, he's like, oh wait, I have to go find my passionate thing that doesn't harm the people I love.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I read it maybe even a little bit differently than you guys do, just like through watching it a bunch of times. Okay, I'm a Christian. I don't know if you guys knew that. And I think that like, so the Bible, again, what I believe, says that we were all created in the image of God.
Right.
So again, I'm projecting humanity onto the animals, which I think is what Wes is going for. And that wolf is created and is exactly, like nothing's changed. From what we can see, the wolf is exactly doing what it was like created to do.
Okay.
And Mr. Fox, through their society, has drifted from who he was created to be.
100%, yeah.
And so I read it as like Mr. Fox drifted from who he was created to be, seeing creation the way that it was created to be and still is. And there's like this thing of like, I understand you, I respect, you know, like he threw up his fist or whatever, of like, I understand that like there's like a beauty in that, like a reverence almost.
Gosh, that's a really cool interpretation.
That is super cool. So are you arguing that like what's the word? It's like when an animal acts like a human.
Anthropomorphic.
Sure.
Yeah. Is the anthropomorphism? I'm using all insane words this episode.
I think people can track. Yeah.
Is that like you? I think what I hear you say
Yeah.
is that Wes is saying that the animals who are putting on human characteristics,
Yes.
but they were created to steal and created to, or not steal, but they were created to be an animal.
Yes.
So as they put on humans and get this titanium card, that
Yep.
is a negative that Wes is saying.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I think I agree with you.
Yeah. And I think, like, that's the thing about this movie, is this is our interpretation or what we take.
Right.
Yeah.
People who have different worldviews, or I don't think Wes intended for this interpretation at all, but that's what makes this super interesting is, like,
Yeah.
you can watch this movie and have a completely different interpretation. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm really fascinated by this movie.
I have a question for you, Ethan.
Yes.
You, in the past month, have watched a lot of Wes Anderson.
Yes. True.
Ooh.
Have
Watched
you
a bunch.
found anything else to be this thematically rich?
Okay, I'll be honest in saying that I haven't seen Grand Budapest.
That's the one. I think that's his best one. That one or this one is his best one.
So
Grand
I've
Budapest is so good.
I've seen over half of his feature length stuff
Okay.
and all of his short form stuff that I could find. And I don't really think any of it comes close. And again, except for Grand Budapest, which I haven't seen, the only other one that I think actually does come close is Isle of the Dogs.
Isle of the Dogs is really good. I
Which
didn't
is
like it as
super
much as this
interesting.
one.
Me neither.
So
But it is interesting that in this format, he's able to communicate things that he struggles to.
yeah,
In live action.
other
that is interesting.
formats.
I do think Grand Budapest hits a depth level that is comparable to this. Although I might rewatch it and think it's not as good as this one.
Okay.
Ooh,
yeah.
I watched it recently and I thought it was good. I thought it was great. But it was like a solid adventure movie.
Grand Budapest?
Yeah. Maybe I just wasn't thinking with my thematic brain on.
Yeah, it's also been probably 5 or 6 years since I've seen it, so I'm due for a rewatch. But that was my favorite one when I went through a bunch of Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, jury's out, but you might have to come back on the podcast and talk about Grand Budapest.
Grand Budapest.
I don't know, but I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about with Fantastic Mr. Fox? I mean, it's an incredible movie. I feel like
So
everybody
good.
should watch this at least once, if not 5 or 6 times. So.
I think 5 or 6 times for sure.
I've been convinced it's a perfect movie.
Okay, let's go.
The debate has been settled. That wasn't really a debate. It was just like a conversation, honestly.
Oh, I love
but
it. Let us know your interpretation, if you're still watching this video,
Yeah.
of what Fantastic Mr. Fox is really saying.
For
'Cause
sure.
there's a lot that it is saying, and
Yeah.
it chooses to not fully go all the chips in on, which I think is a wise decision from a filmmaking standpoint. So let us know what you think there.
Yeah.
If y'all are ready for this, final question. You guys are at a party
Okay.
together.
Together.
Whoa.
You guys are both at a party together. It is a chill birthday party. You both got invited, so the person who has their birthday gets more gift cards.
Right.
So you're
Like still mutual friend vibe.
you're like, it's like a friend from work
Okay.
that you're like not really close with. You're like, oh yeah, you can come to, bring food and a
Yeah.
gift card. No one really says that, but
It's implied.
you're there.
Yeah.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is on the TV, but
Okay.
in like, it's like down the hall, different room.
Yeah.
Different room.
And everybody else is hanging out, talking in the main room, but you catch Fantastic Mr. Fox in this other room. What are you guys doing together?
Together.
You were both at this party.
If we're both at a party where we don't know anyone else, I'm 100% saying, Ethan, we're going to watch Fantastic.
I think I set y'all up for that, actually. I maybe should have given you more nuance here.
Like, I would
Dang it.
totally be antisocial and go hang out with you and watch Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay, great. We're going to continue with the situation. You're at this party. You're in another room. Fantastic Mr. Fox is on. And Drew, out of the corner of your ear,
Okay.
you hear the Sam Raimi, Danny Elfman Spider-Man 2 theme playing
No
in the
way.
main room. And everybody else is watching Spider-Man.
Oh.
What is the dynamic in this Fantastic Mr. Fox room? You still have about 30 minutes left on the movie.
And we both have to go together, or we can go separate.
You can choose separate ways here,
Okay.
but you're like here together.
Where are you going?
Okay, I'll tell you, I'm going to stay in Fantastic Mr. Fox
Okay.
because even if one person comes over, the thematic elements of this movie, we could go so much further into depth, and I might actually walk out with a friend.
Yeah.
Than if we went to Spider-Man and there was 30 people in there, I might not really get to know anybody.
I would still go with you, mainly because I value your relationship a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
But also, I think the potential for depth from Fantastic Mr. Fox is greater in a social situation
Yeah.
than the potential for depth of Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Even though Spider-Man 2 has a lot of depth, I think it's great.
It's not on the same
I don't think it's on the
level.
same
No.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad that y'all enjoyed that question because I just made that up as I went. Anything else you want to talk about with this movie, or anything else before we say what's coming up next?
We've already ranked it, yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we've already given our
Yep,
rating.
we're
So
right.
This is number 1 in our Wes Anderson rating. That
We haven't talked about
if we ever
any
do
other
a
Wes
marathon.
Anderson movies.
Yeah.
Is he making stuff still?
Yeah.
When does his next movie come out?
He's been like kind of on a cold streak recently.
Yeah.
Reportedly.
Not good
Well, I
stuff.
guess his last movie was Asteroid City.
Nope. Phoenician Scheme. It
Correct.
wasn't very good.
I think maybe
thought
Asteroid
Ast-
City came out after.
I think it did.
I don't even know. No, wait, maybe you're right.
I think it was Phoenician Scheme. I watched it in theaters like last year's or 2
Maybe
years.
you're
yeah, you
right.
might be
Yeah.
right.
Gosh, what am I thinking of? French Dispatch. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That one came out before Asteroid City.
I don't remember.
The fact that I haven't seen any of those 3 movies, I probably should get into more Wes Anderson.
But everybody wants to work with him. So fair enough.
Yeah.
His cast are always insane.
There's a massive ant right there. Let's go. Well, Ethan,
Yeah.
do you know anything we've got coming up next?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I think like Dune and Doomsday are I know Doomsday, LOL, but like those are two of the things that I'm like pretty excited for, and especially Doomsday. Like that's gonna be sick. Excited to see how you guys are gonna cook that one up together.
Yeah, we've talked about some
We
stuff
have
there.
some ideas.
Yep.
Actually, I don't know much else this summer. What else is coming out this summer?
It's a great question. We have Ted Lasso starting up
Yeah, it's
this
true.
week,
What?
actually.
Out of left field.
Yeah, actually. But
It should be good.
I'm excited to
Wow.
talk about that week in, week out. House of the Dragon is wrapping up next week, and
Yep.
we've got a bunch of other TV shows. We've got some artsy movies starting kind of Oscar season a little bit, where we'll have Fjord and Social Reckoning. And,
Oh yeah.
I Play Rocky. All those movies are going to come out soon. So we're going to kind of talk about all those, and then
We got Clayface.
Yep.
For you DC fans, we also have Lanterns.
Yep.
So, again, anything pop culture related, movies, TV,
we got you.
we are your place. Come join
We're
us.
your hub of absolute truth for what your opinion should be.
Yeah.
on
Our
these
opinion
films.
is the most valid.
Yep.
No one else's. Frick the Escape Pod guys.
Whoa. We don't need to start beef.
I'm starting beef.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. It'll become a running bit. Thank you guys for tuning in to Stole My Line. Take a break.
And, oh, wait.
Enjoy a film.
Yes.
Hey, let's go.